The Yeti Radio. Powered by DavidLeeImaging.com. David Lee Imaging in the Titletown Music Archive. And the Live 365 app. Welcome to the Backstage Lounge on the YetiRadio.com.
Welcome, everybody. I'm the Yeti. It's the YetiRadio.com, and we are live in the Backstage Lounge with Mr. Jeremy Dasher, guitar extraordinaire, right here from, well, not originally from the Valley, but in the Valley now, right here in the great state of Arizona. So we're going to start things off with a song that he's in with the band called Latency. This is Made Metal Marianne, right here on the Yeti Radio. Technical difficulties.
How you doing, Desert Frost over?
It's the Backstage Lounge on the YetiRadio.com. Mr. Jeremy Dasher in studio right here with the Yeti. Welcome, sir.
Welcome. How you guys doing, man?
Awesome. And thank you for staying on top of me, getting me to remember to do this because
means the world, dude. I really appreciate being here. You know, like I said, dude, we were talking before, and I guess somebody had said if you wouldn't have interviewed me, no one would have, or whatever the case was. And yeah, I felt the same way, kind of, you know. So it's cool to be here, man. Very, very grateful. Thank you, man.
Absolutely. My pleasure, my honor, because you guys are, I've seen you on stage. It's amazing.
Thank you.
You play with two really good bands, two great bands, and I'm in the works of trying to get one of them in here, and now I'm going to work on trying to get the other one in here, Latency.
All right.
I don't know why. Somebody made a comment on a post once and said, we want to thank everyone at the Yeti Radio. What do you mean everyone?
Everyone.
There's only one.
There's only the one guy.
So if I forget, or I hope people don't get mad because, you know.
You're only one person, man. You know.
Well, severe ADHD as a kid and all the drugs they gave me, I'm lucky my brain even works.
Who are you telling, dude?
So, Jeremy Dasher.
Yes, sir.
How long you been in music?
Man, I started playing guitar when I was 11 years old. I played air guitar from the time I was 2 or 3 years old. You know what I mean? And I got my first guitar for Christmas when I was 11, but it was an acoustic guitar. So in my little pea-sized brain, it's like, well, you can't be Eddie Van Halen on that thing. You know what I mean? But I still played and just kind of learned some things, and you know, ever since then, really. That guitar, I mean, when you're a kid, you don't take care of stuff. That guitar eventually broke, and I didn't have a guitar again for many years. And when I was in my early 20s, I got my first electric guitar. It was a Ibanez X Series. And I didn't have anything to play it through, have nothing. I didn't know how to tune it, had a tremolo on it. And eventually, a few years later, I ended up being roommates with a guy who, his living room was might as well have been a rehearsal studio. So he had guitars and drums and everything. And he showed me about a bunch of stuff, and between him and like one of his best friends, they started showing me like, these are all the open chords. This is how your bar chords, you know, go with your open chords. A G is here. This is how you play a G bar chord. They showed me all that stuff, and then the other guy, Travis, he showed me, you know, just like one little scale, and I took that scale and I ran with it like marathons, man, and. Eventually met a guy who was working for Stoney, was the one guy who I was telling you about a minute ago, and Gordon was playing all Megadeth and Metallica stuff, and I'm like, that's my stuff. That's what I want to know how to play. And I asked him, I was like, how do you know all that stuff, dude? And he said tab books. And to me, I didn't know about that stuff. You know what I mean? And so I started getting tablature books, man, and I freaking devoured that shit, dude. And I mean, I learned so much music so quick with that stuff, and you know, just started doing my own thing with it as well. And I mean, that was so many years ago. You know, eventually I ended up out here, and it's a whole life story. You know what I mean? But I ended up out here and was able to get into. You know, I started actually playing for a band, and then I got recall orders, and you know, I was out here for not quite a year and a half. And I got recall orders back into the Army, deployed to Iraq. And the band I was in at the time saved my spot for me. Well, while I was in Iraq, they did like 7 shows. They played a bunch of shows. And when I got back, we didn't do anything. I rehearsed in the studio with them for like a year and never played any shows. And I get a text message one day, well, you're out of the band. We just want one guitar player. Like, okay, whatever, dude. You know, and I was in school at the time, and because I got an associate's degree in guitar playing, and my primary guitar instructor, he was like, well, what are you going to do, man? I said, I'm going to concentrate on this. And I said, eventually something will come along, and I'll get back out there and I'll play. And yeah, about a year later, I bumped into who was at the time the guitar player for Latency. And he was like, you know, I know you play guitar, and he said, I really need a lead guitar player in this band. And he said, if you're interested, dude, you want to come by? I was like, fucking A, dude. Yeah. And he said, well, we have open practices Friday. Bring a guitar and sit in with us. I was like, done deal, dude. And I went, hung out with him the next weekend, and 12 years later, here I am, still in the band, you know.
Right.
And it's gone through its iterations and its lineup changes, and you know, we've got basically the solid core of the band right now. It is been the solid core of the band for a long time now.
Okay.
About 7 or 8 years or so ago, Ken texted me or hit me on Messenger and told me he wanted to add a second guitar player to Empire. And I said, fucking A, dude, hell yeah, I'd love to come down. And so he had me come down. He was like, you don't even have to bring a guitar, just come and hang out. I was like, are you kidding me, dude? You know, so I brought a guitar, and I mean, I sat there while they were rehearsing, and I sat across from Ken so I could watch him. And I had my guitar in my lap. And I was just watching him, what he was doing, and I was trying to play. And by the time I watched him go through a set, I had 4 songs learned already.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
And
well, you got an associate's degree in it. You better pick it up pretty quick.
Yeah, well, you know, it's just one of those things, man. I mean,
Right.
I've always wanted to play the guitar, since I was a teeny. It's just something I've always wanted to do, you know what I mean? And it's something that my brain can actually understand, and I can actually pay attention to, man. You know, I'm such a spaz when it comes to things, dude. I mean, I don't even want to read half the time. It's just I can pick up a guitar and play without thinking about it, and that's
You and I might be related.
Oh man, it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
My wife gives me shit every day because there's a book over there that I got 20 pages in, and I haven't gotten any further.
Right.
Mainly because I haven't had a whole lot of time, but when I have had time, I found something else to do.
Right? No, man. It's life, man. I mean,
Oh,
you get up, you go to work every day, and you have to do what you have to do. You know what I mean? And when it's time, when you come home, I don't want to read. I want to chill and relax and rest. You know what I mean? And I used to actually read a lot, man. And I haven't in a long time. You know, I'll read stuff every so often. But I mean, I read so much Stephen King. I mean, I've read more of his books than, not. And The Lord of the Rings, all that stuff. I read all those books before the movies came out. You know, I used to read a lot of big fantasy epic stories like that, but I haven't read anything in a long. You know what the last thing I was reading was? The Truth About Roswell. You know?
Wow.
And then the last book that I didn't read, I got it on audiobook, was Lou Elizondo's book. You know, it's more UFO stuff, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I'm geeky about that kind of stuff, too.
No, since you're geeky about that, I have a picture I took of I was at the doctor's office here not too long ago, and it was on Fox, and it said UFO Congress hearing.
Yeah, the second one.
And lawmakers accuse the government of covering up the truth about aliens.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, you know.
And
America's like the only country on the globe who isn't open about it. I mean, France, Russia, every other country is really open with their public about UFOs, and I mean, I don't want this conversation to go on UFOs.
Absolutely not.
But it trips me out, man. It's
Right,
just one of those things. I mean, I grew up watching Star Trek and Star Wars and all that stuff, and and you have to believe there's other life out there. I mean, come on, it's impossible that there's not really,
right.
The way I feel. You know,
as
what
big
I mean?
as it is.
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude.
So, about what's the yearish time frame of when you had the roommate and kicked off with the guitar stuff?
Probably 96, 97.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere around in there. I was in like my mid 20s.
Okay.
Probably 24, 25, somewhere around in there. And Stoney was his name, and he was about 10 years, 11 years older than me. Shit went the way it went, and I needed a place to stay. And Stone was like, "Crash over here, man!"
And
I'm
you
like,
walked
all right,
in and
cool,
went,
dude. Yeah,
this is fucking heavy.
And I mean, booze and pot and guitar playing, dude. That was life, and it was, dude. I could live that life every day. You know what I mean? For sure.
Absolutely. I know what you mean. That's why this is the way that it is, because this is supposed to be the experience.
Yeah.
And it's as close to a studio that, in my mind, the way my mind works, and I want people to come enjoy it, because
this place is awesome.
This is a tribute to a lot of music, but centrally focused on Arizona.
Right.
And
like how much vinyl do you have right there? You know,
about 1,200.
Yeah. See, how cool is that, dude? It was
Right.
the last time you walked into a room where a guy's got 1,200 records right there, and records on the wall, you know, and all this. Yeah, it's awesome, dude. I love it.
Yeah, and that's a common reaction, because I guess people don't look at the pictures or go to the website or see, you know, what they're walking into.
Right.
And they walk in, they're like, oh, well, this is really cool.
It's kind of really a backstage. It's like a green room, you know.
That's you know, I worked in the casino, and we started a nightclub in the middle of everything. And you got an 1,800 seat theater, you turn into a nightclub 3 nights out of the week. And it's we call it was the Backstage nightclub.
Right.
And it was all cool, but this is about you. We won't.
Yeah, it's all good, man. We're just talking, man.
But yeah, it's I always get excited. Well, I saw you at Lucy's that one time.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I'm like, he's here.
Right.
I'm like,
dude, that's my favorite place in Arizona to play, man. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I've played in, you know, I've only been playing out here for so long. Like I said, probably about 12 years. So there's a lot of clubs that are historical clubs out here that were gone by the time I got on stage.
right.
And it sucks to hear guys talk about it, because it's like, I wanted to play there now, you know.
I just wanted to go.
Right, you know, I mean, the Mason Jar, I mean,
Right.
everybody knew about that place, and now it's the Rebel Lounge, and I've played there now, but it's not the Mason Jar anymore, so it's like, and then the old Club Red, everybody got to play there, and then it shut down, and, you know, I played at the new one before they shut that one down, so at least I got to do that, but, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of historical places that aren't around anymore, so to me, that's another part of the importance of it. But you know, I've played the Marquee Theater quite a few times now, and Lucy's Sage and Sand out by the Air Force Base, dude, is my favorite place to play, because a big outdoor stage, big patio, it's all outside. And that's rock and roll, man. You know, I mean, when you go to the big festivals and shit, it's outside. You know, it's the coolest thing in the world, man. So I love that stage. It's really cool. You know?
Except from July to September.
Dude, I don't even care, man. Cold beer, bro.
Cold beer with a water chaser, so you don't dehydrate and look like a raisin when you get on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. It's different interviewing an individual,
right,
as opposed
to a band, yeah,
a group. And
well, I have a lot of different personalities up here, so I could probably be a band, you know.
So who are some of your inspirations for for playing?
Eddie Van Halen, dude. I mean, obviously, first and foremost, he's the reason I am who I am. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be sitting here, dude. You know, I mean, period. You know, but, you know, my dad was a rocker. His sister, my Aunt Susan, she was a rocker. You know, my whole family on my dad's side was all rockers. They all loved rock and roll. You know, and Suzanne, she loved the Rolling Stones, you know, and my dad loved Led Zeppelin and Van Halen, and just that guitar tone is what grabbed me when I was little. And Van Halen was probably the first guitar player who really took a hold, you know, of my ear and, you know, what I was hearing. And when I was 6 years old, Diver Down came out in 1982. It came out in April, and I turned 7 in September. So I was still 6 years old, still young. When you're that young, a year is 50 years. Mm-hmm. You know, it's forever. So, I mean, I was still a baby, really, when that album came out. And it's just got some of the music on that album is just, even when I listen to it today, it's just like, wow, dude. You know, you've got, you've almost got thrash metal songs on that record. You know, you've got Hang 'Em High, which is one of the coolest songs ever. And you've got The Fool Bug, and those songs are just so up-tempo, and Eddie's getting down. But you had a song on there that was just an instrumental with Eddie making noise called Intruder. And it was like, how is he doing that? But even at 6 years old, I knew that was Eddie doing something with the guitar. Like, how, dude?
Right.
And it's like that. In my brain, all my entire life, I still ask that same question: how was he doing that? And that's a huge part of it. But yeah, Eddie Van Halen, Dave Mustaine. Dave Mustaine. What really hit me with his playing is that his rhythms are basically leads. You know what I mean? The way he played a lot of his rhythms in the earlier days of Megadeth was just like shred rhythm on the guitar as opposed to, shredding scales and playing lead. He was doing it on the rhythms of their songs. And it was like, wow, it's fucking so badass, dude. So that brought me into that darker kind of side of music, the heavier side. And just from there, it just progressed, man. Eddie, Dave Mustaine, obviously, Metallica, James Hetfield. Oh my gosh, man, I'd have to sit here. I could rattle off 1,000 of them. You know what I mean? But those were probably the two most important that grabbed me at the early stage. And the crazy thing is now, I've done shows opening for David Ellefson, who, when I was little, it was like I knew who he was, and these guys were like gods, and now I'm on the stage with them sometimes, man, and
right,
in the same place and face to face with them, and it's wild, dude. It's really, really cool, though. It's what I've pursued my entire life, It really it is.
Well, with a couple of jobs that I've had now, I've had the opportunity to be up close and personal with people that, I grew up listening to, and it's just insane.
Yeah, it's wild. It's
but yes, definitely.
It means the world. It really does. The first time that I went to the NAMM show, we found the main floor. And when you go in, they had the store, they have the NAMM store. And that year, it was set up kind of outside, and not outside, but like in the lobby kind of, before you go into like the big main floor of everything. And we go in, and we're walking around in the store. And I step out of the store, and I turn to my left, and Nico McBrain from Iron Maiden is walking straight towards me. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. And, he came up and fucking like give a hug and stuff, and he goes on, all right, thanks, mate, and he goes off to go do his thing. But it was surreal.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was just so cool, man. And the people that you see there, it was just, it's just so cool to be a part of it. It's living your life to be a part of it, and then starting to become a part of it it's just a cool thing, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
totally. You got any pre-show rituals? Anything off the wall?
I usually go get a beer and a shot. As soon as I get in the club, the first thing I'll do is I bring my guitars in. It's 150 degrees outside in Phoenix. So the first thing I do is I bring my guitars in the club so they can be in room temperature and acclimate. But that's not really a ritual, you know what I mean? But yeah,
I think everybody should. If they don't, they should.
Right. But I'll get... I want to find out and make sure that I've got all my shit together and I am where I'm supposed to be and have my gear where it needs to be. But other than that, man, I'll just, like I said, I'll come in, I'll get a beer and a shot and start saying hey to people and just kind of soaking in the atmosphere in the room and, and just get ready to play, It's like a wide receiver or, running back ready to get on the field. Give me the ball, let me go, But, no real rituals or anything like that, Show days, I hate to work because I start getting anxious because I need to get out of work so I can start
right.
getting, prepared for the stage or whatever. But, no real rituals at all. I've never really had anything like that,
What's your favorite song to play?
Man. Probably Left of Center, just because it's kind of a signature song. It's upbeat. It's fun to play. I have an extended lead in that song. It's, I think it's, I'd have to sit and think about it, but I get to just play, you know, and it's such just a fun song to play. You know, it's up tempo, it's a driving tune, it's high energy, it gets the crowd going. So it's a lot of fun to play on stage, man. You know? Yeah, I love that one.
What is your songwriting process?
Man, you know, sometimes I'll just pick up the guitar and play something, and it'll just come out, and it's a riff already. You know, you don't even think about it sometimes. It's like, wow, that's cool. Other times I'll have a melody just pops in my head, and I pick up the guitar and try to figure it out. Sometimes I'll have a rhythm that comes in my head, and I like I said, I pick up the guitar, try to figure it out. I mean, I've woken up in the middle of the night with something in my head that I have to pick up the guitar and figure out how to play it. You know, and it just kind of comes to me out of wherever. I don't know where it comes from, but I'll just hear stuff in my head, man. You know, and it's so funny because a lot of times you be away from your guitar or, you know, whatever your instrument of choice is, and you'll have an idea, and it's like I'm stuck with this idea and I can't do anything about it. And you'll lose a lot of music that way because you'll forget about it by the time you get back to where you can actually pick up and play. You know, you won't remember it anymore, or it's changed. You know, the funny thing about writing is how a song morphs itself into the final edition of itself. You know what I mean? So you'll start to write, and then you'll have this one riff or chord progression. And you'll say, well, I've got this one I already had. I can put these two together maybe. Or a lot of times what will happen is I'll have a riff and something that I can play into will come to me, and then it stops. And it might be a day or two, a week, a month later, and I won't be thinking about it, but it'll be going through my head. It'll just start kind of playing itself. And then another riff will happen. And it's like, oh, there you go. That I can go to that, and I can put that in there. You know what I mean? So that happens a lot. There's so many different aspects to it. You know what I mean? But, you know, I couldn't tell you where it comes from. It'll pop into my head from wherever it pops into my head from, and I try to figure it out on the guitar. And a lot of times I'm not able to, you know, because, you know, how can you say this? How do you put it into words? I guess it's part of the polish of how well your rhythm hand can be articulate to make this note right after this note and where to play it. Like if I'm playing this note on the guitar, where is the easiest way that I can play the next note I want to play and still have it sound as clear as the note before it? So if I'm trying to say something on the guitar, I want it to say this, that, not that, this, and that. You know what I mean? So you have to be. It's a rhythm thing. It's a technique thing, I guess. You know, it's kind of hard to put into words. Really,
always been one of my biggest questions in learning is there's only 12 notes,
right?
And
well, you know,
granted, there's the different octaves, but. What's that bring us to 36? So
there's 100 notes on the guitar. You know, I mean, no, I'm teasing. No, but you know, one of the things that I learned over time was passing tones, chromaticism. A lot of that came from learning how to. Once you learn this or that scale, and you learn these other scales, how you can overlay them and play 2 or 3 different scales over the same fret positions. You know what I mean? So if you're playing like a pentatonic minor, the Dorian scale overlays pentatonic minor, and you can play all the notes out of both scales, and you're still going to sound right if you're playing to music. If that makes any sense. Wow. One of the other scales I'll overlay over that is Ionian scale, but I usually start my Ionian scale on, like if I'm playing out of the key of E, I'll start my first note on D, on a step down, because to my ear it just fits better. You know, it sounds better. The scale kind of fits in place over the guitar when you're playing a 3-note per string scale of the Ionian mode. Like I said, if you slide it down a whole step and started on D, and then you play it, and then you start looking at your minor pentatonic, they just interweave right together, you know. And then, like I said, you got your Dorian, and then you throw in your blues note in there, you know. So you've got all that happening that you can play right there, you know. And so, you put all that stuff together, but and then you can throw an extra note here and there, the little passing tones, and then when you put all that shit together and you start to get your voice out of there, I started finding all this chromatic stuff to play. All the notes, they're all right there, you know.
Right.
There's like 2 of them that you can't play, but play all the others. You know what I mean? Because if you play that one, if you're gonna play that one, play the next one, because then it'll sound right. You know what I mean? I mean, as silly as it sounds, that's the way it kind of goes together. Like I said, to my ear, you know. But I think that really kind of brings home what Randy Rhoads said a lot about finding your own voice on your instrument. You know, that's part of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's it right there. I mean, that's how you find your voice on it, how you want to play, you know, what you want to say, because it's all emotion. You know, that's all it is emotion. When you pick up your guitar, you're either sad or you're happy or you're fucking pissed off about something, and that all comes through when you're playing. You know what I mean?
That's the one thing that scares me about being my size.
Right? Oh, you're only
Don't
like
play
7
with
feet
too much
tall, man.
feeling.
You know, do you like when you put the Yeti costume on? Are you on stilts, or are you that tall already? You know,
that's all me.
no, I'm teasing. You know what? I have to say that I love the Yeti. No, I've been all over this world. I've been around the States a little bit, and I've been to a lot of shows. I've been to a lot of clubs. I've played a lot. I've played in Texas. I've played in Okinawa, Japan. I've played a lot here in Phoenix. I've played in North Carolina. Nowhere ever have I ever seen the Yeti. Phoenix, Arizona is the home of the Yeti. Nobody else has that kind of stuff, man. So it's really special, man. It's very cool. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
And I forgot to. Happy belated Veterans Day. And
thank you. Thank you very much.
I'll always love my fellow vets.
Well, I appreciate it. And to you too, sir. Thank you for your service, and welcome home. To all the vets out there who are listening to this, yeah, for sure. Happy Veterans Day and welcome home. Thank you for your service and your sacrifice, man. Cheers.
Cheers. I'll drink to that for sure. All right. So locally, we know you like playing at Lucy's. Lucy's is great.
Oh yeah.
My neighbor's actually a friend with her, so I've got to meet her several times.
Oh yeah,
and
very cool.
hang out with them, and a fun, crazy kind of bunch.
Yeah.
Very, very.
Yeah, they're is eccentric.
Yeah. I'm waiting for a Russian polka to break out somewhere.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I don't remember where she's from, but the accent is always like, oh yeah, I forgot she talks like that. Where is she from again? You know.
I don't want to say for fear of getting it wrong.
Oh God, I couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
I know my neighbor's out of town, but very awesome people. And she wants more.
Right? No kidding.
So, and anybody that wants to play, get a hold of Lucy.
I want to get out there some more, man. That place is awesome to play, man. You know, I remember the first few times I played out there, it was basically just a square stage and no power.
Right.
You know, the stage wasn't covered. There was nothing. You know, I think it had a set of stairs on one side. You know, but it was open. There was nothing over it. You know, and they would run extension cords out there for power. You know, there's no lights or nothing like that. And I remember playing a show out there in like January or something. And I mean, it was like a degree outside, you know. And they got the fire pits out there, and it's like you're playing, you're on stage. We would do a 12-song set and then come down and get a drink and chill out for about 20 minutes and then go back up and play. And I went straight to the fire, dude. Straight to there's like 5 fire pits out there. So you just go to the fire pit and you just stand there until you're sweating. And it's like, shit, I got to go back on stage. But now they've got that stage built up.
Yes.
And they've got lights. They've got fans out there. It is the shit, man.
It is absolutely amazing.
They ran a friggin' like 100 amp sub panel out there with like 420 amp breakers. So it's lit up now. Man.
Oh yeah,
it's really really cool to play out there now, man.
Definitely a fun place to play when it's not 110.
Right.
I can put another jacket or two on.
Yeah, right.
Or put some long underpants on,
but you can only take so many clothes off in public, you know.
Yeah. Some people we want, others we don't. You know. So,
right.
So with that being your favorite local place. If you could play anywhere in the world, I win a stupid lottery, and the Yeti says, "Screw it, I'm going to take 4 bands. We're going to go tour the world." Where are we going?
You know, the whiskey. That's what everybody's going to say out here because everybody wants to play the whiskey because we're 5 hours away from it. You know what I mean? But I mean that's like rock and roll's most iconic stage, and to me, you know, I mean Led Zeppelin played there, Jimi Hendrix, The Doors. I mean, how are you going to beat that's rock and roll, man?
Right.
It's home. You know, the Rainbow's right next door. That's where you want to go. I mean, just to be a part of it. But, I mean, shit, any of the amphitheaters, the big ones, you know what I mean? I remember when I first started playing live music back home when I was in my early 20s, I had a dream one time that we were playing, it would be Desert Sky Pavilion out here. So I call it that so everybody knows what I'm talking about. Well, back home it was Blockbuster Pavilion. Same fucking thing.
Right.
Exact same place, man. I think every big state has one. Every state has one. The same thing. And I had a dream that we're playing and the band's on stage and I'm at the back of the lawn. And I've got to figure out how to get all the way down to the stage, you know. And it was like, oh my God, what do I do, you know? But yeah, that was just a silly dream. But would it be so cool to play? I mean, good Lord, the stage is like the size of your house, dude. You know what I mean? It's amazing, and you're taken care of. All you have to do is go in the green room and get drunk and then go on stage and play. That's all you got to do. You know what I mean? I don't have to lug equipment. I don't have to, you know, I don't even have to drive to the venue. Somebody's going to drive us over there in a big bus. You know what I mean? Yeah, and anything like that, man. You know, big stage like that. I mean, like I said, Marquee's fun to play. It's neat when you have an actual staff of people that are there to help you do your job. And when your job is playing the guitar, I mean, come on, man. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I used to be a local stagehand back home.
Right.
In the theater of the casino that I worked at. And that's where I got to meet a lot of people.
Yeah,
and
that was cool.
That's just, I could have done that the rest of my life.
Oh, yeah.
I moved to Vegas and it was union ran, and nothing against the unions, but you know, you start off on a C list until you get your name out there, and then you get bumped up, and then you might find a permanent home in all of that, but not when you have a wife and 2 kids. You got to worry about putting food on the table.
You
so
got bills to pay. You got responsibilities.
I stuck to my background and missed out on an amazing opportunity because I think I could have done a really good job because working security when you work the shows or the conventions, who are the people you see? All the stagehands, local and road. And it's funny, we're doing an event and the TV truck shows up.
Oh, wow.
Well, it was a TV truck I used to work with back home. And all the guys, like Flip gets off, he's one of the camera operators. I'm like, really, dude?
That's awesome.
He's like, what the hell are you doing here? I said, that wife thing. He goes, oh, I get it.
You're silly. You know what? I'm blessed. My lady, she's sitting here. She came out with me this evening. Dude, she's so supportive of what I do, and I'm so grateful. You know what I mean?
There's not been a time I've seen you, and I don't believe I've not seen her. So
she's
that's awesome.
You know, she doesn't get mad at me when I buy guitars, and it's when you're a guy like me, it's an addiction.
Right.
You see one, you're I gotta have that one. But I mean,
I'm trying not to let it become one. I am trying so hard.
You know, I just the last guitar I bought, I paid not quite $400 cash for it. Bought a used at Guitar Center, and I ended up putting like $1,200 into it. Wow. You know, just rebuilding it and having it rebuilt because I bought all made in America parts. You know, it's a Fender Stratocaster, first Stratocaster I've ever had. I've never had a Fender Strat before. All the years I've played guitar, I never really I didn't like the feel of them really.
Right.
And the look is kind of Disney to me, kind of. I hope nobody takes that the wrong way. But on the other hand, it's an iconic sound. There's no other guitar that sounds like a Fender Stratocaster, and people who have no idea about rock and roll know what a Fender Stratocaster is.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's an iconic guitar, especially for rock and roll. Any self-respecting guitar player should have a Fender Stratocaster in his arsenal. So I got the bug, and I went on Facebook Marketplace, and just looking at prices, and people were selling them for between $500 and $600. So I was like, what they're selling for at Guitar Center? $600. No shit. I can get a new one for the same that people are selling them used for, right? So, long story short, if it's not short, I don't know. Ended up getting one, and the Mexican Strat, I paid $390 for it. And there were some upgrades I wanted to make to it. I love the body. I love the feel. I like my guitars heavy. I don't like light guitars. And so I really dug the feel of that guitar, and it looked beautiful. The finish on it was the color. It's the triple burst. Okay. It looks like whiskey and wine burst. It's just a really pretty guitar. And so I ordered a American neck for it, 70s era American Performer neck. I think that particular one was $600. It's American Fender Stratocaster neck. It is made by Fender in California. That's the parts you get, And I love the old school stuff. So I ordered a set of the vintage tuners, and I put a Seymour Duncan Hot Rails pickup in it. That all together was about another $1,000. So I built the shit out of that guitar. But
wow.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, she could kick me out of the house for that. Instead, she says, "That's a beautiful guitar. I'm glad you're happy with it." You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Dude, that means the world, man. I'm blessed. I'm lucky.
Well, we're going to go ahead and break to the intermission, and we will get to the second song, another one from Latency. Here they are, and Left of Center, right here on the Yeti Radio in the Backstage Lounge. Back in the studio with Mr. Jeremy Dasher.
You.
Man. So, don't do that.
Don't
It
tell me how to
started
live my
playing
life.
again. I'm like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be doing that.
That was my fault. Sorry about that.
No. Oh, man. Your hair's long, but it's not that long.
Yeah, right. It's blonde at the roots. You don't know how deep those roots go, bro.
Ooh. That's what she said. Let's see. Okay. Left of center.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that.
Man, that version of that song that we just listened to, like you said, that's 10 years ago. That was when Latency was 2 years old. That was recorded at Tommy Gibbons' studio, KMS Studios. At the time, he was just building that place. And he needed drywall and all that stuff done. And, dude, Latency, we're blue-collar boys, man. I mean, you know, some of the guys were tradesmen. And my other guitar player in the band, his name was Jeremy Wilson. He's Jeremy Wilson and Chris Cornell were basically the heart and soul of that band. They started that band together, the two of them. And Wilson was like, well, we can hang the drywall. so they go out there and hang the drywall. And, you know, I don't know how much of it they had to do, but they did a lot of that stuff there. And we all went and cleaned up and everything like that. And Tommy was like, well, I'll do you guys an album for the work. So I was like, all right, cool, man. So the singer that you just heard was his name was Rich McManus. That's Chris Bell on drums, who's still in the band. He, you know, has been in and out of the band, but he's the original drummer, and he's back. Been back for years now. Chris Cornell on bass, and me and Jeremy Wilson on guitars. And that was Rich McManus singing. So the story goes, we go in and we recorded the album, and we were tuned in E standard. And Rich got a call that his mom was sick and possibly dying in Alaska. So he's like, guys, I got to go. And we're like, dude, go. You know what I mean? Go be with your family, man. You know, and if you come back, you come back, dude. We'll be here for you. And time went on. Rich never came back. We never really heard from him again for a long time. And, well, we're still going to make music. So we ended up getting another singer in the band. And instead of just releasing what we had, which we should have done, we decided to re-record the album in E flat because the new singer didn't sing in E standard. So we basically just fucked ourselves, dude. I mean, lost all the magic, you know. But, and it's not to say anything bad about any of the musicians. It was just, you know, it's kind of lost the feel, a lot of it, you know.
It was just different.
It was, you know. It's kind of like, and some musicians may understand when I say this. When you do 2 rehearsals in one night, the second one always sucks. The first one is always the one because it always has the energy. You know what I mean? And a lot of guitar players, when they go in the studio, they'll lay down 30 solos for the same song, and they always go back to the first one. That's the one. You know what I mean? It's you read it in articles and interviews all the time. You know what I mean? But I really feel like that's actually come back to bite me in the butt a few times when I had the opportunity, or not me per se, but in a band, we had the opportunity to put music out there, but we decided not to because something in the band changed. Like this member left or something like that, you know. And like with this, like I said, the tuning, we decided to go back and re-record the whole album in E flat because the new singer didn't sing and he couldn't sing that high. His voice was lower, you know. But yeah, just a funny story about that song and that whole time of Latency. You know, that was Latency. The band, I guess, was 2 years old at the time.
Okay.
You know, we'd already been out playing shows. I remember the first time I saw those guys play. It was the first time they played out public, and I didn't know that. And I saw them on stage, and I mean, they looked like a band. They looked like a touring band. I mean, they had the look, you know. It was the energy and everything. The crowd freaking fell all over themselves. And I was like, these guys are cool, man. And when Wilson was like, dude, I need a lead guitar player, man. You know, he's like, I'm not the best lead guitar player. I need a lead guitar player. He said, I can play some stuff, but I want somebody here that can play. And I'm not trying to speak anything bad about him, love him to death. But I was like, yeah, cool, man, And so joining that band was a huge step up for me because I felt like I was stepping into something that was big, and I really felt very quickly that the band kind of got a lot bigger than all of us who were involved in the band. You know what I mean? It was really wild to be a part of. Even just a little local band that, nobody really knows. We don't have. That was the only recorded music we really have. We took some of what we had. I think when we got Mike in the band, Mike Reck, who's singing now, and he's been in the band for a long time. We took a lot of the stuff that we had, and Mike recorded vocals on it. And since it never got put to an album format or CD or whatever, we just put what we had on reverb and just put it out there for people. You know what I mean? And I guess point being is that, that's like the only recorded stuff we have. If you want to hear Latency, you have to come see us play live.
Right.
And if that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's just kind of how it is,
Right. It is what it is. Yeah. There's no...
I'd love... it's so trippy, dude. Those many years ago, it was like, I got an idea. What if we did a double live album and released it on vinyl? There's no other local band that ever did that before, right? How cool would that be? And at the time we had the set list, we could have done it, but...
Who's the last band to ever do that?
I don't know. Kiss?
I was going to say.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Dude, hey,
in fact, they even called it double live, didn't
man. They? But it was something I wanted to do, and one of the reasons... I really love Led Zeppelin because they sound like, they're live in the studio when you hear the songs played back. It's not like, okay, I'm going to punch in right here. I'm going to punch you in right here. Okay, we're going to record this, and then you guys are going to come in and record. No, fuck, dude, let's set the fucking band up and record us playing the songs. That's where you get the energy, the live song, the live music. And that's how I've always wanted to do it, but it's not an easy thing to do, man. You got to have the logistics of doing that. If everybody's on the same page, then you can make it happen. But if you're one of the only guys that really wants to do it that way, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's definitely a group effort because
it is.
Everybody's involved in it.
Yeah, a rock and roll band is not just the band. It's everybody involved in bringing that band and the music to the people. Engineers, roadies, everybody, man. Wives. Everybody supports it. Everybody pushes for it. If everybody's on the same page, it just makes it so much easier, and you can do so much more. At least I feel that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and it's all a vision.
It is.
It's all, trying to do something good for. Hopefully for yourself first, but
right.
But definitely trying to
Well, the connection part of it, the connection of the music and the fans, in their ears, that they want to hear that, and one of the most sacred things of playing is the connection that you have with the crowd. When you're playing live, I'm lucky to be in the bands that I'm in, where when we get on stage and we start playing, the crowd starts to come up to see what's going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? And dude, there's not a feeling like that in the world, really.
and live is where you need to try your new stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Put it out there live and see what reaction you get.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Because that's going to be your tell-all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
You can't sit in the studio and make a song and expect people to like it, because then you're trying to make music for them.
Right.
You make your music, put it on stage,
right,
and then if the crowd likes it, then you record it.
Yeah, that's a good song. They really like that one. Let's put that one on the album. That only makes a little bit of sense, right? Mm-hmm. Come on. Yeah.
Well, and don't forget, when it's live, it's your song.
Yeah, for sure.
And even if you screw it up, nobody knows, because it's your song. You're the only one that knows. Right. They don't know how it goes.
Oh, man.
In fact, somebody did that. It was a new song.
Right.
They hadn't played it live yet.
Right.
And they weren't finished.
Oh, wow.
They played it anyway. And had they not told on themselves,
right,
Nobody would have known the difference.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so embarrassing to be a part of a train wreck on stage, man. But the only thing you can do is play through it. And I swear to God that I don't know that I've ever been on stage and played a song correctly all the way through.
Well,
but everybody
I'm
comes up and says,
that ever
"Man,
happens.
that might have been the best you ever played." Like, oh, you don't know what I know, man.
That's one of the things I'm trying to wrap my head around when I'm sitting here practicing. I don't know that I ever get it 100% right. Am I supposed to?
Oh, look, there's one of your hairless kitty cats.
That's Babu.
Sweet.
Come here, Babu.
That's
here,
awesome, dude. Check him out.
Come say hi.
I have never seen a hairless cat in person. And I'm talking about felines. You dirty-minded people out there.
Right? I knew what you were talking about because he's mine.
He is a trip.
I have this thing with animals.
Right.
I won't just go get one.
Right.
I have to go meet them.
Right. Yeah. No.
See if they like me as much as I like them.
Right.
His original owners were moving, and where they were wasn't necessarily a safe place for him.
Oh wow.
Well, it had a viewing wall.
Right.
So he could get out.
Oh wow.
Out the wall.
Ooh. Yeah.
And which isn't a big deal, but they were just worried because it was a golf course.
Oh wow.
And so they were trying to rehome him, and my wife came across it. We went and met them, and then they brought him out, and he took to me pretty quick. And
right, that's cool, man.
And he is just really awesome.
That's cool.
He'll get up, sit on my chest, and use my razor stubble to scratch his face. And
well, the cool thing about him is he ain't gonna shed all over you.
No, that's the only reason I have cats is because there's hairless ones.
Right. That's funny.
If the hairless dogs were bigger, I might have one, but
we should shave Wyatt, dude. A bald-headed golden retriever, dude.
Oh boy!
Just shave him some male pattern baldness in. That'd be great.
But they're more social. They like to cuddle because they don't have any fur.
Kitty.
Our black Sphinx, Gracie, she gets in bed and she'll sleep with my wife. But if I get in bed, she'll eventually end up next to me and sleep with me the rest of the night. Babu says, "I like you."
Yeah, he's cool. That's a trip.
Okay, so you brought your guitar in.
I did. I brought a guitar.
I hear
with
that's
me.
got a pretty cool story behind it.
It does, man. I put the microphone down so I can grab it. I don't know if you can hear me anymore. Let's see this guy.
Not really.
Yeah.
I can get him. You want a mic stand?
Oh, it's fine, man.
Okay.
It might be easier that way. Anyway. No, I don't know if anybody can see that on the screen.
You're right in front of the camera.
There you go. So this is a early 80s Cort Gibson copy Flying V that my youngest brother gave me for Christmas, and I dismantled and rebuilt it. So this is actually the third neck that's been on this guitar.
Oh, wow.
The first one just was kind of crap. Here's the thing. I wanted to put a reverse Firebird headstock on here just to see what a Gibson Flying V would look like with a Gibson Firebird headstock on it. How cool. And but you can't get Gibson copy stuff, and it's extremely difficult to find any Gibson replacement stuff like that for the neck, because Gibson necks are all set necks. They're not bolt-on, and they've got such a tight grip on their trademark shapes and stuff like that. That's why Dean got sued,
right?
For their Flying Vs. But anyway, so I put this neck on here. I had a buddy of mine do the construction for me because it was like, I could do it, but I want it done by a pro guitar tech who actually does this kind of stuff, man. I ripped these pickups out of an old Jackson Warrior that I had. So these are Seymour Duncan Invaders. These things are hot, dude. This guitar is wild on stage. This is the best sounding guitar I've ever had.
So this last Christmas?
No. This, I probably had about 3 or 4 years now.
Okay.
It's got the old style Gibson Vibrola bridge on it, like Jimi Hendrix had.
Okay.
This thing is wild too. It's really cool. It's fun to play with. You can just make noise with it. It's really cool. So, like I said, I ripped out all the electronics. I replaced all the volume and tone pots and the knobs and everything. The only thing original on this guitar is the body and the pick guard. It even has the holes still in it where I pulled the stop bar tailpiece out of it.
Okay.
You know? But yeah, this thing, man, I've put it together. I got my nitro fish on the back, you know, and he's right there on the front. And this guitar's beat to shit, dude. I mean, the finish is cracking all over it. I mean, you got pieces of it here where the whole freaking paint is dinged down to the wood. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. It's beat up, but it's the best sounding guitar I've ever heard. I mean, it just, even when you play it without plugging it in, it just has the tone. It just sounds good, man.
Nice.
You know, but these pickups are freaking scary, dude. I mean, this thing, it builds up a natural reverb on stage that, if you're not careful, will kind of take over your whole tone. You kind of have to almost deaden the strings a little bit. You know,
Wow.
It takes some technique. But yeah, this is my favorite guitar that I have. You know, part of it obviously is a sentimental value. You know, obviously that's the biggest part of it. My brother gave it to me. But
Absolutely.
But being able to build it into what it is was just something really cool. You know what I mean? And someday when Gibson comes knocking and wants to give me a signature guitar, this is gonna be the blueprint.
That's gonna be the example.
Yeah, but I'm gonna charge.
Make it
them.
like this.
It's gonna cost them. You know, they're gonna pay me about $10,000 to carry their name around. You know, but they're gonna put me on stage and build me some guitars and pay me some money. Right? I'm gonna have to get a big hat. You know,
Right.
start playing Guns N' Roses songs. No, I'm teasing, man. No, all hail Slash. Yeah.
Right.
No, but I love this thing, man. You know, every guitar has a story. I mean, you can ask any guitar player who has guitars. Their guitars have stories. You know, there's nobody's ever going to tell you, anybody that does what I do, they're not going to be like, well, I went to Guitar Center and bought that one. No, there's a story behind that guitar, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah, there always is, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's just part of rock and roll. That's the history of rock and roll. That's why there's so much history. You
Right.
know? Yeah, heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this thing. Yes. Yeah, man.
Definitely super cool.
No, thank you, man. It's a lot of fun to play.
So do you have any shows coming up?
Right now, December 7th, Empire of Desire is going to play a show for a dear friend of ours named Brian Kimber, who is coming to the end of studies. He's getting a bachelor's degree. I don't know exactly what the terminology is, but it's for him to help people. He's helping people do something, you know.
Okay.
And it's been a while since I read, you know, since he's, you know, made any posts about it on social media or that I've even spoken with him about it. But he's coming to the end of some studies, so it's kind of a celebration for him.
Awesome.
And so we're gonna play that, and you know, Brian, he's such a good dude, man. He's a fellow veteran. But it's like he's always there, you know, and he's helped out Empire so many times, you know, just small little things even, you know. It's like, you know, I got to the marquee one time, and we were going to play that night, and it was like, man, we need somebody to watch the merch table, and Brian was like, I'll do it. I was like, okay, well, shit, dude, I mean, we want you right there watching us on stage, but, you know, he offered to watch the merch table for us so we could go do our thing. We didn't have anybody else. You know, but stuff like that, you know, I mean, he's just a good guy, you know, and when we got that opportunity or got asked to play that show, I was like, well, fuck yeah, we'll fucking play it, dude, hell yeah, you know. So
Right.
that December 7th show, beyond that, I don't know that I have anything on the books right now for any shows coming up, but usually after, you know, traditionally we'll usually take like December off. You know, everybody's Christmas, it's the holidays. You kind of take December and January off and kind of cut back on rehearsals and cut back on shows you take. And it's not that you are actively doing that particularly, but it's just kind of the way things go because like, everybody's going to be
It's
with
hectic.
their families. It's the holidays. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on. So it's
A
like,
whole
oh,
lot.
let's dial a little bit of it back. You know, it's not that we're not in touch with each other and talking to each other every day or anything like that, but excuse me. But yeah, I mean, traditionally, like I said, I mean, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, things usually start firing back up in February, you know, into January, and that's when shows start to kind of roll in and get booked.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
So I'll let you know. I'll go ahead. I'll drop it in social media to Latency.
All right.
Like getting you guys scheduled if you want
Thank
to
you, man.
holler at the guys. And I don't know why I haven't before. Again,
there's 100 million bands out here, and I mean, it's not like you're concentrating on one of them.
It's definitely never anything personal.
Right. No. That's another reason I love Phoenix, because you can go, any night of the week you can go find live music. And it might not necessarily be rock and roll, but pretty much any night of the week, 365 days of the year, you can find somebody out playing music somewhere, live music, all over Phoenix. You know what I mean? And it's amazing, man.
All four corners of the valley.
Yeah, you've got rock and roll scenes, you got heavy metal scenes, you got country, you got blues, you got jazz. It's all here. It makes this town really, really cool. It's one of the only places I've ever been in the world that's like this. I haven't spent a lot of time in California. I've been out there, but I know that there's music out there. I've seen some of the local bands out there, and some of them, obviously they come here and play. I'm proud of Phoenix, man. We got some fucking killer bands out here, man.
Absolutely.
I've been to shows where there's a touring band coming through from California, and I felt like every Phoenix band just blew them off the stage just because we all bring our A game every night. You know what I mean? So I'm proud to be a part of it, man. I really am,
Absolutely.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, we got a lot of great musicians and a lot of great bands and just a lot of talent in general.
Yeah.
I haven't, I did Keely Wolf. She's a comedian. I interviewed her and I don't know, I just haven't run into any more comedians to do
they're out there.
They're out there.
That's another big thing out here, is comedy. There's open mic comedy. There's a lot of that stuff out here. There's entertainment. This place has actually got a lot of entertainment. We don't film movies here.
No.
You know what I mean? But
we're getting ready to.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Oh, boy.
So I've heard.
It's getting stupid.
Dude, the only thing this place doesn't have is a damn ocean. You know what I mean?
TikTok.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, I don't even want to go there, man. Hey, I love California, so I hope nobody took what I said the wrong way, man, about the music here or anything like that. But.
No, well, in fact, I don't know how Mike from Nine Finger. I forget if he even said it in the interview, but they're from L.A. And they sent me an email wanting to do an interview when they came in town and played at 44.
Very cool, man.
And I was like, whoa, really?
Which band was it?
They're called Nine Finger.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of them before. But that's cool as shit, though.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, they did a show over at the 44 when they came into town. And it's a great bunch of guys.
So which one of the guys in the band is missing a finger?
Mike. He's originally from Scottsdale.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think it was word of mouth or through social medias or something. So
I said, dude, we're the only place in the world that's got a Yeti.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are.
I out of costume, I know I'm not much to look at, and everybody's like, maybe you should do the interviews in costume.
Stop that. You're a beautiful man. You're a beautiful man. I don't even want to hear it.
No. It's just the costume does it for everybody.
Yeah, well, of course it does.
I don't, but the costume does.
Dude, that costume is killer, man. You walk into a club and you see a 15-foot freaking abominable snowman. You know what I mean? Like, holy crap, dude, check him out.
Where were you Halloween night?
I had a rehearsal Halloween night. We actually handed out candy for a little while, and then had a rehearsal with Latency that night, and then we were playing Friday night. We opened for Pretty Boy Floyd, and so we were all going to be working Friday because we're regular working stiffs, and TJ, who does a lot of he does all the show stuff at the 44. Right. He was like, "Can you guys bring your gear down Friday afternoon?" And we're like, "No, we'll do it Thursday night." You know what I mean?
And we're gonna be at work.
Yeah. So we rehearsed and ran through the set, and then broke everything down, loaded everything up, and hauled it all out to the club, and brought, because we had to provide their backline for them. So they used our guitar amps and bass amp. Okay. And I'm not quite sure whether or not they used our drums. But yeah, that's the second time we've done that for Pretty Boy Floyd. Okay. But that's what we did for Halloween. That's what I did anyway.
Well, there was a 10 or 12 foot bear
Huh.
at the 44.
That night?
Yeah,
Halloween night, yeah. I didn't get to see that.
That poor dude was drenched. That thing was
bet.
super hot. Mine's not as hot as people think it is.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's a ghillie suit. It's made for you to dress under it how you need to.
I got you. Okay.
So you can take everything off and in the ghillie suit and be
Next
comfortable
time
at
I see you
110.
as the Yeti, I'm like, are you naked in there, bro?
Nope, never.
No, I got a Speedo on, man. A Speedo and some socks and a bandana.
Banana hammock.
Yeah, right. That's awesome.
But it was funny. I took a couple of pictures with the bear, and it made me look this big. And
no kidding.
But somebody was
How
up.
cool was that?
Bleed the Fifth was playing, and he was back there just jumping and dancing to Bleed the Fifth, and it was just I couldn't
That's
resist.
cool.
I walked up behind him, grabbed him, started jumping with him, and it was just a Yeti humping a bear in the middle of the club.
Lord,
It was just
awesome.
the
bro.
cameras came out. I haven't seen nobody posted it, so I don't know where the hell the
film
pictures
that, man. Somebody's got to post that, dude. Come on, man. Bleed the Fifth. I believe that if it's the right band, their drummer, oh man, I'm trying to remember his name. He passed years back, and he passed, but he was a good guy, man. And for some reason, I'm drawing a blank on his name. I can see his face right in front of my face right now, and yeah, he was a good guy, man. But R.I.P. to him.
Tobin, right?
Yes, that's him.
Yeah. The guitarist's brother.
Yeah. So yeah, hails to him, man, for sure.
Absolutely. But yeah, that was a great night, and I tied for first in costume,
Right.
with a scarecrow and a crow.
Right.
His wife was the crow.
A scarecrow and a crow.
So, but yeah, okay, whatever. Not a big deal.
That's good stuff.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun, and everybody was great. Took lots of pictures. They're all up on my website.
Right on.
And then,
Very cool.
our picture will be up there tonight because after we get done. But so nothing set for latency.
Excuse me. No, not right now. Like I said, things will probably start, blowing up again. February, we'll start getting people start putting shows together for the year.
So, as a member of two good bands, how do you balance that?
Well, I mean, what I was going to say is I was in 3 bands for a little while. I was in a cover band and Latency and Empire, and I just, if I do pick up another project, I just tell them I got rehearsal nights or these nights, so this is when I'm available. But I've also learned to not spread myself so thin because it starts to put too much stress on myself and people around me, and that's not fair to me or them. But since Empire and Latency have been doing what we've been doing for so many years now, we don't rehearse every night. You know what I mean? I used to be a rehearsal 4 nights a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I'd have Friday and Saturday, would be shows half the time, or not. But when I was in Vertel, it was like Monday night I think was like Empire or Latency, and then Tuesday night was one or the other, and then Wednesday night was like Vertel, and then Thursday night was like either Latency or Empire, and so yeah, it was a juggling act, and luckily enough, everything just kind of always fell into place where there were very, very rarely, if ever, any conflicts at all.
Wow.
As soon as there's a show for one of the bands, usually what I would do is tell the other bands, hey, look, I got this on the calendar now for this band. So then they know, well, if we get offered a show for that particular night, well, he's already booked. But if it was possible, I would do both shows. There was at least once or twice where I played all 3 bands at the same gig. So it'd be like Virtel in the afternoon or something like that, either Latency or Empire earlier in the evening, and then Latency or Empire at the 9 or 10 o'clock slot. I did that 2 or 3 times, I think.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But it was like, yes.
Then you get home and you're like,
Yeah, I get home and I'm like, okay, it's time to have a drink and relax. You know what I mean? But dude,
bring that bucket of ice water over here.
By then, my adrenaline is so far up through the roof. You know what I mean? It's because it's such a blast, man. You know what I mean? Just the stage. But and then there's been 100 times where Empire and Latency have played the same show. You know, quite a few times, anyways. Like a lot of that happens at like Anfest,
right?
And stuff like that.
Right.
So it's a big show. It lasts all day long, and then they'll book. You know, both the bands will end up playing. You know, because we're all interconnected. You know, a lot of people know a lot of people. We're all friends and family and stuff like that. So that's kind of how that stuff comes together. You know what I mean? But
yeah, somebody told me I should do one, and I'm like, oh hell no.
You should do one what?
One of them shows.
Like how do you mean? Like just be like the Yeti? You mean?
Yeah, like a fest.
Well, why not?
No, I don't need all that. I don't have any time now.
You could
remember. There's a 7 and a 4-year-old.
Yeah, you got a point. Yeah. You got a point. 4-year-olds are a trip, dude. Her youngest grandson is 5, and he's all about dinosaurs, man.
Oh yeah.
So I told him, "You are a dinosaur, dude." He's funny, man.
Absolutely.
Dude, she and I have a whole language between ourselves because of him. You know what I mean?
So you can either talk to him or around him.
Yeah, no, we use his words in our conversation. You know, like there's no L's in our alphabet anymore. It's W's.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a trip, dude. Like, let's go, man. We're gonna be wait. You know. You know.
Ours is the opposite. We learn to talk around them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, for sure. Yeah.
So that they don't pick up on it. But yeah, I've got a 31, a 29, 7 to 4, and then I've got 4 grandkids that are around the same. They're all younger than my youngest daughter, but yeah, they're all
right
littles.
Oh my God, I never had kids, so like her grandkids are like kids. Like, what do I do, man? You know,
right?
No, they're cool though, man. You know,
absolutely. Well, I look forward to last couple of times with EOD. I couldn't get there on time.
Oh, it's all good, man.
And
you have a life, man. You know what I mean? We all have lives that we live, and you're not, not you, but just in general, you're not always gonna make every show. You know what I mean, dude? I mean, I'm not 20 years old anymore. If I drink, well, I love to drink. I don't have a problem with it, but I don't drink so much through the week anymore because of my job, but like I'll cut loose on the weekends, man. But if I hit it hard, it'll take me a day or two to recover. Well, I remember the first time I went to Bike Week, right? And I was hungover for like 4 days, man.
Wow.
I install solar, and at the time I was working for one of the companies out here, and I was on the roof hungover for like 4 days straight, man, like just dying. But so you don't have the recovery time. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you have a life. You're not going to be able to make it to every show. Some guys out there, they do it, and that's cool. But if you got the time, you got the money, and you got the fucking will to do it, man. It's all good, dude. But I mean, I sit and play a lot of guitar. You know what I mean? I don't always go out, and I feel bad about it sometimes. I feel like I should be more supportive of the scene. But I also have a job to do, you know what I mean? And I don't know if that's a cop-out, but I play guitar, I want to be a good player when I play guitar. When I get on stage, I want to fucking blow people away if I can, you know what I mean? And if I don't spend as much time doing it as I can, I don't feel like I'm going to be at that level, you know what I mean?
Well,
but
I'll tell you,
I guess I hope that's not a cop-out.
You, Ken, Christian, and a few others, Brian, of course. The only reason I stay away from that and stick to that.
No, man.
I have a hard enough time keeping up with James on that one. Watching y'all do what you do,
no.
That monstrosity of a hand don't move like that.
Nah, man, you get the feel of it. You know what I mean? You get the feel of it. You asking me earlier. You asked about what kind of ritual before the stage or whatever. Warm-up exercises. Just to get your hands loose and get the blood flowing. There's always, guitar players are always like, oh, what warm-up exercises do you do? And You know, I've got a new one that I've been doing, but point being is that just loosen your hand up. You know, just try to relax through it. You know,
Right.
you're not squeezing it to death.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're finessing it. You know, so maybe that's something to think about.
Yeah,
I don't know.
absolutely. But alrighty, that just about does it.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for coming. Thank you
fuck
for.
yeah, man.
And sorry it took so long.
Oh, it's all good, dude.
Then we'll get you back in here with EOD and latency, and
Yeah, man, that'd be a
soon
blast
as,
to do that, man, for sure.
as soon as Ken hits me up, and then get with the guys in latency and find out what's a good time, and
Yeah,
let me know, and we'll get it set up. And
for sure, man. I'll talk to them about it. Yeah.
absolutely, I look forward to it. I want to get everybody in here, but there's only been a couple that have been here more than once,
Right.
and some are getting
Well,
ready
you know
to.
what? It's good though that they do that. Even if you've got a staple band that's in here, you know, at least you got somebody in here. You got something happening.
Yeah,
You know
definitely.
what I mean? That's not a bad thing. You know what I mean?
No, and I got the Wide World of Music on Tuesdays, so
Right.
that keeps that helps. And I try to do it earlier in the day now because of the having bands from across the pond,
Right.
so that it's
How cool
earlier
is
in the day for them. It's still nighttime, but it's
Right.
not 3:00 in the morning.
Oh, how is that? I mean, how is that? What is that? Just like a radio show or?
Yeah, it's just a show that I do. It's new music, and it's centered around Arizona local music. But I
Right.
started getting enough emails from outside of Arizona and
Right.
outside of the country that I'm
Right.
like,
But they're local bands in their towns.
yes,
That's cool. Man.
they're all. As far as I know, as best as I can find out, they're all. It's about independent bands.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's and all the emails I was receiving. I actually had two shows. I had New Music Madness, and then I had the Music Realm,
Oh wow. How cool.
and then with everything else going on, it was just hard to manage two shows.
Right. Yeah. No kidding.
So I've always wanted to steal the logo from ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Right.
And so I did, and I turned it
What
into
in
the
the
Wide
Wild
World of
Sports?
Music. And I'll play that clip for you when we get done. But it allowed me to do that, and it allowed me to combine both shows. And it's all independent music, and its roots are here, and
Very cool, man.
it's a lot of fun. Get to hear all the new stuff people are putting out, and
Right.
because I don't follow the bands outside of Arizona on Spotify.
Right.
But the ones that I have so far on from Arizona on Spotify, when they put a new song out, it tells me.
Oh wow. How cool.
I'll
is that?
check every couple 2-3 times a week, and then update the list, and then
Right.
do the show, and they're all listed on my website under the tabs, and they're all on YouTube. So
Very cool, man.
and that's where the tab takes you, to YouTube. So
Right on.
if you ever want to check any of them out, or the interviews,
Right.
I believe you're number 57, so
All right.
you get to be Heinz today.
That's cool, man. Oh yeah, I'll have to check myself out. Hopefully, I'm not too doofy looking.
Oh no, this is always fun because it's like I said when you first got here. This is for the most part it's about you, and just getting to tell your story and what you're about and what you do and how you do and why you do, and
Right.
So that you have something to build off of for your music career.
Right.
I just want to help, and I got to set up a really cool studio after some guy took 3 months to talk me into
lay
it.
back on the couch.
I've had some people sit down and go, I don't want to get off this damn thing.
Yeah, it's comfy, man. Big old leather, comfy couch. Got drink holders. Yeah, it's nice, man. Yeah.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeremy Dasher of Empire of Desire and Latency from right here in the great state of Arizona. And you're originally from North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte,
born and raised.
North.
Yes,
Ooh.
sir. From the deep south down there, and we drank iced tea a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bubba.
I did forget to cover that. Oh,
So
man.
next time, man.
Well, I've got a buddy I need to go see that's over in South Carolina.
Oh,
so.
wow, there you go. They're our enemies. I'm from North Carolina. No, I'm teasing.
But anyway, Mr. Jeremy Dasher, here he is with Empire of Desire, and a song called Baptized, right here in the Backstage Lounge on the YetiRadio.com.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's the Yeti Radio with Jeremy Dasher right here in studio on the Backstage Lounge. Again, sir, I want to thank you very much for coming and hanging out. It was awesome.
Dude, are you kidding me? Thank you, man. Fuck yeah, man. Honored and very grateful. Thank you very much, man.
Yep. Look forward to getting to catch you live again, and you and you in both bands.
Thank you.
Definitely.
I am up to it. I'm ready for it.
I have to align the stars and the planets
Right.
to make it all happen sometimes.
Just
But
don't sacrifice any of your kitty cats.
oh no, never ever. But I definitely do my best to try and make the time to get some bands I haven't seen and get to a venue that I've not been to.
Right.
And it's tough.
We get
And
some more venues out here, man.
I would like to have some out here on the west side if anybody's interested. Because
well, Lucy's is like the only one that I know of. There was like a what was it, like a bowling alley or something like that out here, a Lighthouse Lounge or something like that.
Oh, Lighthouse is right there off of.
They were trying to set up and start playing shows there, and me and Tulin and Kenny did an acoustic thing there. It was her singing and me and Kenny playing guitars, and we played through acoustic guitars. I played through my pedal boards, had all my effects, and we played through like full amplifiers with acoustic guitars, no drummer, no bass, and we did a full set out there, and that was the one and only thing we did there.
Right.
And it never took off. Nothing ever happened. You know, I don't know why. It's really weird how venues either try to get started and just nothing happens, or some of them start and everybody just starts to go there. You know what I mean? I've seen it happen a couple different times out here. You know, we lost Joe's, R.I.P. Joe, Joe Grotto. I love him, man. That place is where so many careers out here got started, man. Local music. You know, from my time here, and I got out here in 2008, so you know I've only been out here for so long. But Joe's was a huge place for us.
We're going on
for
16
me,
years because that's when I came out.
Yeah.
So that's
there's history out here, man. You know, this music scene, entertainment scene in Phoenix has been out here since the 60s, you know, probably before that for sure.
Right.
You know what I mean?
All right, but yes, sir. But thank you again, and
fuck yeah, man.
We'll get you back in here with the bands. And are you still teaching?
Teaching what, guitars?
Guitar? Are you doing
man,
lessons?
you know, I would, but I'm so like weird about shit like that. I don't know how. You know, if
I
people
thought I heard something that you.
I would for sure. I would. I'd love if I could just do that for a living. God Almighty, that's what I would do
Right.
every day, all day. You know, but I just, and I'm probably not a bad. My dad teaches. My mom's a teacher. I mean, so I you know, my mom taught second grade my whole entire life. You know, my dad, you could, well, he's a professor now.
Okay.
You know, but it took him a long time to work back up into doing that. But so I mean, I have it in my blood, kind of, and I do feel like I could be a good teacher, but I wouldn't even know how to get started. If people wanted to come and ask me, dude, can you teach me this, teach me that? Well, fuck yeah, I would. You know, but I don't know. I don't know how, you know, how to really approach it, man. I mean, I put it out there a long time ago, like, you know, guitar lessons or whatever, and nobody ever really bit on it. You know, I did a couple of little Facebook reels where I just ran over a couple scales, and then, man, it's just one of those things where you got to have the time to do it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And with the work I'm doing now, you know, I'm back in the solar industry, and I mean, I'm working 50, 60-hour work weeks, and that's a physical job, dude, you know, and like I said, I'm not 20 years old anymore, so beats the shit out of me a little bit, dude, you know.
Absolutely.
What I mean?
Right.
I mean, I'm a hard-charging dude, but, you know, you can only do so much before you got to sit down and, like, rest a minute, you know.
All righty.
Yeah, brother.
Well, stay tuned and check out the YetiRadio.com on Tuesdays for the wide world of music. Independent bands have a platform now right here on the YetiRadio.com. And then on November 18th, that's let's see, that's a Monday. I'm going to have Mr. Tony Noise from Noise Factory in here for an interview as well. And and that'll be what happens next right here on the Yeti Radio. So stay tuned and come check it out. And you can see all the previous interviews and shows on the YetiRadio.com on the tab at the top. Check them out. And we shall catch you later.
It's alive!
The Yeti. The Yeti Radio. Powered by DavidLeeImaging.com. David Lee Imaging in the Titletown Music Archive. And the Live 365 app. Welcome to the Backstage.